Okay, good day, guys. So in today's tutorials, we're going to be talking about stop loss. Okay, that's how to use stop loss for effective risk management. Remember, I said when we are talking about stop and risk management, I made mention that stop loss is one of the most common and widely used management tool that you need to learn how to use if you must succeed in this venture called crypto trading. Okay, so in this particular video and training, I'm going to be explaining to you what stop loss is. Okay. Now, this is what is stop loss. Now, stop loss is a risk management tool that automatically helps you reduce the effect of a losing trade on your trading portfolio. Okay, no, sometimes whenever you're trading cryptocurrency, it's not every time that you're going to get your analysis correct. Okay, sometimes there are ups and downs. Okay, so in situations whereby the market now goes against your analysis, now what then helps you to cut short the losses? Because I can tell you that if the market is going down, sometimes like what we're currently in a bear market now. Bitcoin was currently that was once at $60,000. Okay, and now today where is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is at $20,000. What happened? Look at the great dip. The coin fell massively. Okay, but with the idea of a stop loss, anybody that had bought Bitcoin at $60,000, if the person had bought or had an idea of how to use a stop loss, the person wouldn't have been in such kind of a devastating condition. He wouldn't have lost so much money. Why? Because he understood the idea of stop loss and then he used it to cut short excess losses. The agreement, anybody that had bought Bitcoin before would have lost almost 50%, yeah, almost 60, yeah, 60 to 80% of his portfolio from $62,000 to $20,000. That is a huge amount of loss. But then if you had known how to stop loss, you would have cut short the loss and probably lose probably maybe say $5,000 of your entire portfolio. So probably you would have, if you had set it at probably 10% loss, you'd have lost maybe $10,000, and then of course you still have like $50,000 in your portfolio. But because of lack of use of stop loss, anybody that had bought Bitcoin and then still held it would have been in deep shit at the moment. Because that's one of the benefits of stop loss. It helps you to mitigate against what massive losses. Of course, losses are bound to happen, but where the abnormality comes in is when you allow the losses to be too big. Okay, so in as much as we're saying losses will happen. Yes, we're admitting the fact that losses are going to happen. But where, like I said, where the abnormality comes in is when the loss outweighs your profit. Okay, so we have seen instances whereby people are winning, but the moment they now get one particular trade wrong, it tends to eat up all the profit they have made. Why is that so? Because of what they fail to use their stop loss. So when the analysis now went against against whatever they did, they could not afford to sell at a loss. Okay, so that's the idea of stop loss, that you're selling at a loss. Okay, now I know it can be very, very difficult to do. That's one of the most things that people are missing out. Stop loss can be a very, very difficult thing to adhere to, because imagine yourself going to the market and then you just bought a product today, and then maybe you came back home and then the product was not something that, maybe the cloth was small for you and then you want to go and return it. But in the moment you go to the market, they say that they cannot collect the cloth except to sell it for them at what? Probably if you bought the cloth at 10,000, they said they're going to buy the cloth at 6,000 naira. For not, you've never won the cloth and you're already losing 4,000 naira. It can be really, really annoying for you to sell that particular cloth at that particular moment. Okay, so that's the idea of stop loss. So instead of you to bring back that particular cloth at home and then keep without using it, it is better you sell the cloth or give the cloth to them, and then they should give you 6,000 naira. Sure, you get. Yes, you lost, but then you still had an amount of money that you could just top up and get a new cloth. So that's the idea of stop loss. You might conduct your analysis and then it might go wrong. Of course, you're not human. The market is full of uncertainties. You can always get the analysis correct. Okay. So whenever you make analysis and then it goes wrong, you need to have an idea that, okay, your stop loss is there to help you so that you don't really incur much losses. If you fail to use your stop loss, now instead of you to just lose probably 5% of your portfolio, you might end up losing 80% of your portfolio. We have seen things happen like that. People will buy cryptocurrency and then because of they are scared of selling at a loss, they'll end up selling at a much more crazy loss, at a much more deeper loss. Okay, if you're familiar with the concept of market structure, you understand that when people buy at the top, that is when the whole excitement is small. I've bought in cryptocurrency at the top, but like that whole excitement when they buy it and the coin begins to dip, they'll be like, I cannot just buy Bitcoin today, and Bitcoin no go dump for my head. You get that kind of feeling, but so do not be scared of using the stop loss, and then because of they are scared of using the stop loss, the market to keep on going down, going down, going down. And then if you look at all the emotions attached to each of those structures, you discover that, okay, the moment the thing begins to go down, they begin to contemplate, you sure say I no go sell at loss? They be like, guy, half an $1,000 is too small, don't sell. At least if the thing go up, if you win $10,000, so because of that crazy thought, now you still hold your position. You'll be like, okay, it's just $1,000 I lose. Let me just wait small. The market is going to go up from $1,000. You're already losing $2,000. You'll be like, $2,000 is too small. Let me still wait small. The market will reverse from me. The market cannot just go down like that. Before you know, that $2,000 has gone to $5,000. And then the moment you get to $5,000, that's over 2.5 million naira. You begin to say, boy, I not feel lose 2.5 million, oh, God forbid. Just like that, I did not come to, I came to Bitcoin to, I bought Bitcoin to make money. I did not buy Bitcoin to be losing like this. So because of your already made serious loss, now those people will be scared of what? Of selling at a loss. Something that they would have prevented it at a $1,000, but because of they refuse to use a stop loss, now the loss has entered what? $5,000. So instead of just losing 400k, they're already losing what? 2.5 million. And then it's going to be easier for it's going to be difficult for you to let go of what? Of 2.5 million naira than letting go of what? Of 400,000 naira. But then because of people's inability to use stop loss, they would keep on holding the coin, and probably that 2.5 million will even go towards to even 10 million or even 5 million, depending on what the kind of their investment capital. We have seen it happen where people lose millions. At the end of the day, they end up still selling at a lower bottom. Because the moment the coin has gone down, just I will still refer you back to the what to the market structure. The moment the market have gone down, that's when you start hearing things like, "Oh my, just a Bitcoin no go zero." It's as if Bitcoin is going to go zero. Let me just say, half bread is better than none. You begin to hear that kind of thought because of what they did not really understand this particular market. And before you know it, the pressure to sell will become too much on them. They start feeling, Bitcoin is going to go to zero, and then they will start selling off their asset at a great loss. And before you know it again, the market will go up, and then they will be filled with regret. So all of this will happen for those who don't really understand some certain technicalities that are involved in this particular market. Okay, so this particular video lesson is meant to prepare your mind. Okay, this is what you need to do in case of any uncertainty, in case the market goes against your analysis. Okay, so that's exactly what stop loss is. Okay, so let's look at the next slide now. Why must you use stop loss? Of course, you already know why to use stop loss. Number one thing is what is to mitigate against what excess losses. Okay, the next one we have is what no analysis is 100% certain. No matter how good you are in your analysis, no matter how perfect you are in your analysis, there must be situations whereby you're going to lose in the market. It's inevitable. You cannot hide it, you cannot run away from it. It's one of the things that you must pay as a crypto trader. You must experience those kind of situations. Okay, so for the fact that nothing is certain in the market now, you need to learn about stop loss. In case your analysis goes AWOL, you can always have a plan to fall back so that you don't lose all the money you've labored to make. But I can tell that a lot of people are too pride in themselves. They are so pompous. They feel, okay, I have known technical analysis, I have known fundamental analysis, I cannot be wrong. And for that reason, they will refuse to use stop loss. I've seen some very crazy crazy traders tell me that they are too good now, they cannot use stop loss. That's a demonic thought. The moment you begin to feel like you're above stop loss, that is the beginning of your downfall. That's the beginning of your doom in this market. So you need to understand that yes, you are human. You're not the first person to enter the market. You're not the first person to feel like that. So the market is going to humble you if you do anyhow. So let's have it at the back of mind that nothing is certain here. We're living in a game of uncertainty. In fact, life on its own has ups and downs. For the fact that if life on its own fear have ups and downs, who born the crypto market let you know have its own up and down? Are you getting it? So it's very, very important that you understand that the market is full of uncertainty, and then of course you need to plan in case anything goes wrong, because of course it is going to happen. Sometimes you might not know. Sometimes it might happen when you've gotten your best entry signal. It might just happen at any given point in time. Okay, but the idea is that whenever it goes wrong, it shouldn't eat up all your capital. It should just eat up what is if a little amount. These are some of the fees you pay for being an expert in this industry. Okay, then the next one is what is to help. It helps cut or mitigate. Sorry, this is an error. It helps cut or mitigate against excessive losses, like I illustrated before. If you're buying a cryptocurrency at $60,000, imagine those that bought Bitcoin at $60,000 and then they refuse to use their stop loss. Now look at where the cryptocurrency is, $20,000. That's a huge loss. $40,000 loss. $40,000 is almost 10 million. Yeah, 10 million, right? Yeah, almost 10 million naira. More, imagine the person want to go and come and sell now. It's going to be a crazy loss. But imagine if the person has used his stop loss at probably $50,000. So from $60,000, he only lose what? He only lose $10,000. That's only 5 million naira. Are you getting it now? So because of the only lose only 5 million naira, you see the loss is not in as much as yeah, they made some losses, but you cannot compare the loss with somebody that held the cryptocurrency till this particular moment. That is one dangerous thing you need to know about stop loss. So I said this is very, very important about stop loss. It helps what mitigate against excessive losses. If you refuse to use your stop loss, you might end up what getting badly burnt in a situation whereby you're supposed to just be bruised. Maybe if they're supposed to give you just one lash of losses because of your stop loss, you refuse to use stop loss, now you now get 21 lashes. Crazy brutality in the market simply because of what you refuse to adhere to stop loss. So these are just the two main reasons why you need to use stop loss. Like I said, the overall purpose of stop loss is to help you protect or manage your risks very, very well. Okay, but then I just try to break them down into these two simple and easy to understand reasons why you need to use stop loss. Okay, So that's just, and now I'm going to, I know that you might be thinking, what is stop loss now? Well, let me just do some practicals now before I show you how to use stop loss on Binance. Now I'll just go to my drawing board, and then I'm going to just do one or two illustrations in order for you to understand what I meant by what by stop loss. Okay, so let me just go to a whiteboard. Okay, and this is a whiteboard. I'm going to be drawing some things. Okay, now remember, now we already have one or two indicators like that, like you already know about support and resistance. Okay, so let me just draw a support and resistance. I want to illustrate to you what a stop loss is, okay, or how you use the stop loss. Okay, so this is it now. Let me change the color of this one now. So imagine that, okay, this is a support and resistance, right? Now imagine the coin is going up like this, comes down here, go up again. Now, as a legit crypto trader, now you begin to, okay, anytime the coin touches the support, you buy here, it goes up, what you sell here, okay. Then once you sell here, you wait for the coin to come down again, then you buy here. Then the moment you buy here, the thing goes up, what you now sell at this particular point. This is the ideal. This is what every book is going to tell you, that you buy at the support and sell at the resistance. But then if you already practice, you understand that it is not every time that the resistance would hold. Sometimes the resistance will break, and then if it is breaking, if you're not careful enough, you're not going to see the breakout. You're not going to see the breakout sign. Okay, so you might see something maybe after you have sold here now, and then the thing begins to come down here. Then you be like, let me go and buy. You now go and buy this particular point now, and let's assume that this is the point of breakage, and then of course Bitcoin came and break and went down. So the idea of stop loss is that, now look at it. This entire green part is a massive loss now. So the idea of stop loss is, okay, let us cut short the loss. Okay, let's cut the short loss. Let me change the color of this so you'll be able to see it very well. The idea of stop loss, okay, let us cut the loss at this particular point. Okay, you see. So let's assume that this is from here to here is a what? Let's assume it's a what? It's a 10% stop loss now. But if you cut it at yet, maybe you're already cutting at what? You're already cutting maybe 6% and saying what you're leaving what? 4%. So rather than make, I think I need to draw this again. Okay, so rather than make look at I said look at the entire loss here. Okay, that's when your analysis goes wrong. Remember, you actually went and bought at this particular place, but unfortunately the coin still went down. It's something that you cannot avoid. Okay, sometimes it happens like that. Okay, now in as much as it has gotten to resist the support, but sometimes it is surely going to break out. Okay, so now rather than just allowing this kind of massive loss to happen, now the idea of stop loss, okay, let us cut short the loss. Okay, so the stop loss is going to help you what? Cut short the loss at this particular point. Are you seeing it now? So if this has been a 20% loss now, stop loss is going to help you to reduce it to what, like 5%. Are you getting? So that's the idea of stop loss. Okay, for the sake of, let me just do it again. For the sake of those that will want us to do it again. So let us assume that this is it. Okay, then the market goes up. Now let me change the color of this one so that it's more visible. Okay, so the market would go up, it will come down, it will go up, to come down, and then whenever it goes up again, and then as it come down, you begin to buy. Then it seems like, okay, as you want to go up, and before you know it, it just went down like this. Okay, so at the beginning, you already had an idea of stop loss. Now the moment you enter your trading at this particular point, now you're going to put your stop loss at this particular region here. It's an automatic tool. Like I said, it's an automatic tool. The moment you're entering your trade, you're going to just activate your stop loss. I'm going to teach you how to activate your stop loss so that it helps you to monitor your trade, so that even if you went to play but you went to do something else, the thing is still going to protect your account automatically. You don't need to be there. Even if your data is off, it's going to happen automatically. Okay, so you can look at that. You're going to put your stop loss slightly below the place at which you enter the market. Are you seeing it now? So now this is your what? This particular area is like your what? Your area of what? Like you're giving room for what? Room for error. So meaning, if the coin begins to go down here, your position will still hold. So the moment the coin comes to this particular region here now, let me change this ink now. The moment the coin gets to this particular region now, what is going to the exchange is going to automatically sell off the asset. Okay, now why is it doing like that? Because of it doesn't want you to take more risk. You say, okay, if the coin come here, you're able to to still take the risk. Okay, and it's small risk, I can still hold on again. It came down again, you can still hold. But the moment it came, I say, kind of, the market has gone bad. Like my analysis has gone really, really bad. I cannot more hold at this particular region. So the system is going to automatically sell at this particular region. This tick place I'm doing now, it's going to sell at that particular region. Okay, then before you know it, maybe let's assume that, okay, the market now truly decide to go down. Okay, even if it's going down, you're already sold at this particular region. Okay, so you're not really going to be affected by this massive dip, and that is what stop loss is. Okay, so the stop loss happen in every instance. Let's assume that, okay, we have a, let's say this is a trend line. Okay, so then let me change the color of this. So we now have something like this. Okay, the coin is going up, coming down, going up, coming down. You know that, okay, when you can look at it, whenever we talk about trend line now, you discover that anytime the coin gets to, let me change this color, anytime the coin gets to the what, to the trend line, you're expected to buy because it's going to surely what, go. Once you get here, you sell. If it come down, you buy here. If it come here, you sell. So whenever it comes to this particular place, you're expected to buy here, okay? And the moment you're buying at this particular place now, you need to go and activate your stop loss immediately so I don't forget, okay? Now you go and activate your stop loss around this particular region. Okay, now there's a legal way you draw the stop loss. I'm going to teach you guys how to do all of this, and so that you don't just go and draw a stop loss anywhere, because there are certain mistakes that people do, and then I'm going to call attention to each of these mistakes so that you don't fall victim. Okay, now the moment you put your stop loss at this particular red region, it means that if this coin decides to break this particular blue trend line, let's assume it broke it, then instead of going down, you're still going to, it's not going to sell for you here, but the moment the coin gets to this particular region and then it's still going down, it feels to go up, the computer automatically what, sell for your asset at this particular region. Okay, that's the idea of stop loss. So even if the market keep on going down, you've already sold at this particular place. Okay, so probably if this is a what, a minus 20% movement, you already sold at probably a minus 5% movement. You see, so you actually took a what, a 5% loss instead of a what, of a 20% loss. So that's exactly what we do by by stop loss. Okay, so now let me give you guys another there's some mistake that people do, and I'm going to explain that mistake in another video. Okay, I don't want this one to be really lengthy like that. So this is a mistake. Let's assume that this is their stop loss here, but this is their support and resistance. I mean, let me draw this again. This is their what, this is their support and resistance, right? So they will say, okay, this is it. Maybe the coin is going up like this, going up. Then when it comes down here, they will not enter the market at this particular place number. Then they will now go and set their stop loss very close to where they enter the market. Now this is a very crazy stuff. Okay, this is a very wrong move to do like that. Truly, if you want to give room for error, be free to give room for error. Put an estimate of at least this particular place, give room for error. But because of their scared, say, I don't want to lose plenty of my money, do not go and put the stop loss very close to it, and then before you know, the coin will come down, break their stop loss, and before you know, the price will go up. If you have been trading, you're going to understand that this thing happens very well. Okay, now this is what we call this call it what, chingom marking. Okay, like they are following the price action back to back. Okay, and of course, what just happened is what is a stop loss hunt. Okay, it's a stop loss hunt because like the way the thing happens, stop loss hunt, as per HUNT hunt. Okay, this is whereby the investors, that's the whales, are hunting your stop loss because they know that, okay, this guy want to form for us trader. Okay, we know that, okay, he knows about stop loss. Okay, so if you want to now go and put the stop loss, he's supposed to put the stop loss down here, but because of they know that you're fearing, and then you want to put your stop loss around this particular number, they will still make the coin to go down a bit, get broken at your stop loss before it finally goes up. So you might be thinking that I've protected myself against excessive losses, not knowing that this is the manipulation by the big boys in the industry. And of course, you can look at it, the thing not even go anywhere, except, and then it has finally rallied upward. But then what, you have missed out on this big rally. Why? Because of what, your stop loss was very close to your point of entry. Okay, it was very close to the area. So now, how do you mitigate against all of this? Don't worry, I'm going to explain it in the next video. Okay, but for now, I just wanted to have an understanding about what stop loss is. Okay, and then I trust that this video helps you to understand what stop loss is. Okay, so let me stop it, and then in the next video we'll continue.